There was an elephant in our living room. Not a small one, he was enormous, with ears like floppy fans and a trunk that curled like a question mark. He wore the pinkest, fuzziest slippers, much too small for his giant feet. He tried to tiptoe, but it was like watching a mountain wobble. Mum hummed in the kitchen, baking cake, never noticing the elephant, even when he sneezed a trumpet sneeze that rattled the windows. Dad read his newspaper, ignoring the elephant balancing a lampshade on his head like a hat. Lily, my big sister, did her homework on the floor, surrounded by pencils. The elephant, curious, used his trunk to sneak a red pencil and drew a swirly flower on the wall. Lily just sighed and kept drawing her perfect squares. No one seemed to see the elephant, no matter what he did. He tried to hide behind a pot plant, but his sneeze gave him away. Dad stared at the ceiling, pretending nothing was odd. The elephant wiggled his ears, delighted with his silly hat. Lily ignored the flower blooming behind the sofa. The elephant, in his slippers, was impossible to miss, yet everyone missed him. Only I watched, wondering why no one else noticed. The elephant shuffled to the biscuit tin in his fuzzy slippers. He tried to juggle Mum's chocolate chip cookies, but they tumbled onto the rug in a crumbly mess. Mum dusted around his big grey bottom, humming louder, ignoring the cookie chaos. Dad tried to watch TV, but the elephant blocked the whole screen, swaying to the music. Dad leaned left, then right, never asking the elephant to move. Lily built a tall tower of blocks. The elephant wanted to help, but his trunk was clumsy. Crash! The tower fell. Lily just sighed and started over, never blaming the elephant. The elephant's ears drooped as he watched her rebuild. No one said a word about the mess or the elephant. The room was full of silent acceptance and quiet sighs. The elephant tried to fit in, but only made more mess. Still, everyone pretended he wasn't there. He looked at us with hopeful eyes, waiting for someone to notice. But the house stayed quiet, and the elephant stayed invisible. I watched the elephant's big, sad eyes. He looked lost, like a toy left out in the rain. He picked up a cookie crumb with his trunk, not cheeky anymore, just lonely. Why did no one see him? He was wonderful, with slippers and a trunk that drew flowers. I could see him perfectly, see his ears droop and his feet shuffle. He was as real as the sofa, as real as Mum's baking. So I went to the kitchen and poured 2 cups of tea, one for me, one for him. Mum smiled but didn't ask about the second cup. I brought the tray to the living room. The elephant's ears perked up, his eyes sparkled. I set the tray down and said, "Hello, my name is Tom. Would you like some tea?" The elephant blinked, looked at the tea, the cookies, and then at me. He curled his trunk into a happy loop and rumbled softly. It sounded like a kitten purring, if a kitten was the size of a car. For the first time, he didn't feel invisible. We shared a quiet moment, just the two of us. The elephant took his tea with his trunk and sipped, eyes crinkling in a smile. I offered him a cookie and we sat together in comfortable silence. Dad peeked over his newspaper and finally looked at the elephant. "Does your new friend have a name?" he asked, smiling for real. I shrugged. "I just call him Elephant." Mum brought in her cake, saw us all and cut a big slice for the elephant. "A growing elephant needs his cake," she said, placing it on a plate. Lily laughed and patted the elephant's knee. The elephant rumbled happily, louder this time. He was still in our living room, but now he wasn't a secret. We all saw him, talked to him, and laughed at his silly games. The elephant, who just wanted to be seen, was finally happy. He was our friend, and our house felt bigger and warmer with him in it. Sometimes he wore his fuzzy slippers, sometimes he juggled, but now he belonged, and so did we.